Hello, this is Dimitri with Ukidz LLC, UGears US, and today we're going to be assembling sports car rapid mouse. It is another one from the series of smaller pullback with its own wind-up motor cars. Pretty quick build, very nice and cute. There is a series of 3 of them. So we just did Wing Sports Cube. There is there is Rapid Mouse, and then there's another one. I'll post the link down below. Or if you have any questions, you can check out our website for the other one. So let's go ahead and start with opening up the box using my little precision file here, just to get in between the opening and pull the tab. It's just easier than trying to pull it with your fingers. And let's go ahead and open the box. We got, let's see what we have in here. We have 3 boards, 2 boards, 2.5 boards. So that'd be pretty quick and easy build. Actually, the box says 4 hours, and it's an easy level, 222 parts. I think it'll be probably a little bit less than 4 hours, at least in our case. We got manual as always. We got a little baggie with spring, be my guess. A little sandpaper. I have a plenty around over here. There's some rubber bands. 1, 2, probably 4. More like tires. 3. And don't be afraid to rip this bag open. You're not gonna rip anything else. And I got probably 1 spare. Let's see, so I got 5 rubber bands in here. I'd recommend to keep everything until the final assembly, just to make sure that you're not missing anything, that fell somewhere in a little crack or hole. So we got 5 rubber bands. We're gonna put them in the little box that I'm working with. 1 spring. Wax I put on the side, and the sandpaper I put on the side. All right, so as always, manual. The second page explains how to pull the parts out. That you need to wax it if you have trouble putting them together. Do not burn the candle. And then page number 3 goes into the symbols in the manual. We got the first one is make sure to wax all the parts. This is a sandpaper to sand all the parts. Exclamation point means pay attention, close attention. Then you have gears with the arrows, meaning to check mechanism, make sure it's operational. And then when you see 2 arrows pushing on 2 pieces of plywood, meaning that snap these parts together to secure. Bottom right, there is a helping tool, and there is also, that's on the board number 2, this little guy in the corner here, bottom right. That's a helping tool, very useful in pushing the parts out, snapping them together, helping give yourself like a helping tool to snap the parts together, because it gives you a little bit more leverage. And also there is a list of spare parts that are available on the boards. So if you break any of those, check the manual first, and then if you don't have them in here, then you can contact us or the manufacturer. Us would be info@UGears.US, and then the manufacturer is customer service at UGearsModels.com. A mouthful of an email address. Anyway, here on page number 4, it shows you how to use some of the ways that you can use the helping tool. We will be using it throughout the assembly, so you can pay close attention of what we're doing, or I'm doing in this case. And let's go with the step number 1 on page number 4. We need board number 1, parts number 1, 2 1s, 2, 3, and 4. So 2 1's going to be right in the center here, a little bit above the middle. Part number 2 is going to be bottom left. Part number 3 is going to be top left. And part number 4 is top right here. All right, so for the assembly, we do need to wax every single gear tooth on the gears that we have. Also, it is recommended, I mean, you can sand it and wax. I mentioned that before in the other assemblies. That will just make sure or will help you to start the mechanism much sooner and quicker than it takes me, for example, because I usually don't sand much. But if you see the sandpaper recommendation, I'd recommend to apply a little bit. I'm just trying to record the video here and show you guys the full assembly, and I don't want to make it 4 hours. It's just going to be easier if it's going to be a little bit shorter than that. All right, and then part number 3, there are dimples, a little cutouts there where the connection points are, so you don't really need to wax it. But if you want to make sure the operation is nice and smooth, you either apply with the sandpaper, or like I do have a little precision file that I just run it around the outer surface of this little cylinder, washer, whatever you want to call it, and apply a little bit of a wax on all around. All right, so put these ones together. Put from the shorter end where the tab is at, we put part number 2, and make sure it goes all the way to this little step. Lock it up with part number 3. And then part number 4 is going to go from the opposite end up to another step. So there's going to be a little bit space in between. Next one, we're going to take our spring, and we need to make sure that this little lip is facing clockwise direction. So it's going this way. And then we push it in between part number 1 down all the way down to the gear 4. So we just need to find with that flat surface, we need to find that opening of between 2 number 1s. Kind of squeeze it in between. Here we go. And then push it all the way down to the surface of the gear. So it should be sitting flat against the gear. All right, and then we lock it up with the part number 3, which is top left corner. Same thing, a little bit of the sanding all around, and wax. There you go. And then we push that number 3 as far as it can go. There's another, like a little step in there. So, and that's going to be enough space for the spring to wind onto part number 1. All right, that's our A1. Moving on to page number 5. And it looks like it's a very similar assembly to the other cars. So, we take step number 1 on page number 5. We need part number 5, bottom left corner. And then we need parts number 6. They are in the top right here. All right, a little bit below actually right at the middle. And I'm using my helping tool to get all these parts out. We need 4 of them. All right, they're gonna go, oh, we need to take the centerpiece out where the part number 2 was. And also with all these design facing down, we need to insert part number 6 in these 4 corners here. That's where my helping tool is coming to play too, or you can use the table as a leverage. So I just kind of preset it in the hole, and then use my helping tool just to push it down, because using your fingers is gonna get a little bit painful and exhausting. So quickly we insert all 4 parts, and then our step number 2 is we're gonna take our sub-assembly A1 flip it upside down. So part number 2, the gear number 2 is facing up, and we need to insert the slip in the little opening here on part number 5. So as you insert it, very similar assembly to we just recently did the wings port scoop, and then we need to rotate counterclockwise to wind the spring onto the little subassembly A1. Make sure you hold the spring in place so it doesn't snap out of that little opening, and then you just need to push it a little bit down for the spring to go into this hole right here and for it to stay there. All right, as you do that, let it go of your little assembly, and it should just stay there pushing against the surface. Then it's step number 4 to take part number 7, which is right in the middle on the right hand side of board number 1. And we will need, for step number 5, we will need 2 parts number 8. They are on board number 3, bottom right. All right, so our number 7 with the flat pieces, that's going to go from the bottom. So as you insert it as flat pieces or flat cut-offs, chamfers should be, let's see, there's 2 on the outside. I guess it doesn't matter because it looks symmetrical. So it just needs to be flat against these little surfaces on the side. And we're putting it over parts number 6. All the way down, so it's flat against part number 5. So your gear is going to stay in there, and then 2 parts number 8 from the bottom. And the way they need to go is that with that curved surface, inside curvature is going in a counterclockwise direction. Right, so I'm just flipping it upside down. So as you winding, your fingers are against that curved. Make sure you hold this down. So pretty much this little arrow should show or point to that flat surface. Or, sorry, curved surface, inside curve. 1 and 2. The second part should go the same way. So you have nice little winding mechanism in here. All right, that's our A2. Moving on to the page number 6. Need a step number 1, little gear with parts number 11, 2 9s, 10, and 11. 2 9s, that's all on board number 1. Let's see, 2 9s, 999, 999. They are a little below the middle on the left hand side. There's 4 of them, so I just need 2 for now. Now part number 10, that's going to be on the bottom. 2 parts number 11, they're going to be right at the center here, a little bit below the middle. And as I mentioned before, you need sand, part number 11, or just wax it because it's got little dimples in there or dips. So we need to wax both of these. And then we need to wax the gear, all the gear teeth on part number 10. right. And let's see, step number 1 right in the middle top page. That's our A3. We need parts number 12. They're on the right hand side, a little bit below the middle here. 2 of them, part number 10, once again on the bottom, and then 1 part number 11, which is at the center, a little bit below the middle. Once again, wax part number 11 all around. We wax the gear number 10, all the teeth. And then part number 12, got an extra piece in here that I need to take off. 12 goes into 12 little forks. And then doesn't matter from which side, you put the part number 10 first, all the way to the little step, excuse me, part number 11. And then we go into step number 1 on the right hand side. Put our A3 in a little brown hole here, matching the gears with the large gear teeth with the large gear. And then part number A4 or subassembly A4 is going to go in the round hole here. Then we put part number 13, which is on the bottom, a little bit below the middle on the right hand side. And part number 14, a little bit above the middle on the left hand side. So 13 is going to go on first. The little hole is going to be on the right hand side in my situation. And then part number 14 with the little tabs on the right hand side. Similar scenario, we're going to go underneath this little gear. And then we need to make sure, wrong way. Brown hole is going to be top left, and then this gear is going to go through this little A4 subassembly, just like this. And then we're going to need in step number 3, we're going to need part number 15. That's the top left. And then part number 11 at the center, a little bit below the middle. Part number 11, obviously wax all around and sand. And then part number 15, we just wax all the teeth. And while I'm doing this, a little commercial break, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more assembly videos. I'm going to be adding other cool stuff on there, little video shorts and stuff like that. And like and share this video for more recognition. Let's see, so we did wax it. We're just going to put this part number 15 over and then lock it up with 11 on A4. All right, moving on to page number 7, step number 4. We need part number 16. It's on the top right. And this is going to go from the bottom into that part number 14 that we have in here. All the way in. And then step number, that's going to be our A5. We're going to put it aside, clean out the surface on the desk here. And then step number 1 on the right, top right. It's going to be 2 parts number 17, bottom right. Part number 18, that's going to be, let's see, bottom left. And 2 parts number 19, they're bottom right, a little bit to the right of the center line. Same, wax all around, sand and wax. And wax the gear number 18. Put 2 number 17s together. 18 is going to go, and 19 from the right side on the longer end. As far as it can go, and then lock it up with 19. And then part number 19 on the opposite end. up to that little T. All right, and that's our A6. Okay, step number 1 on the bottom of page number 7 in the center there. We need part number 20, which is on board number 1 on the bottom here. And that one, make sure these teeth are facing counterclockwise direction. And we're gonna insert it on the left-hand side that is closer to you, if this flat surface is to the right. I'm gonna wax all these little tabs that are sticking out, just for them to go easier into the part. Line them all up and push it over. And if you wax them, that's gonna be pretty quick and easy. And then we're gonna turn it around, move on to the page number 8, and then insert this little A6 subassembly with the gear to the right hand side from the, if these are flat surface facing towards you, from right into there, to make sure that the part number 19 goes into the hole and this gear sticks out right here. And then step number 3, we need part number 21 on bottom center of board number 1, with the gears, the little teeth facing the other direction, the clockwise direction. Same thing, I'm gonna wax all these little tabs, push it over, and insert it. Line up the holes, and they should go pretty easy if you wax them. And then make sure the axle lines up pretty good too, for that part number 19 to be in the hole. So, and then you should have some movement in there. Make sure you got the rotation. Step number 4, let's see, we're gonna do, from the top, we're gonna insert part number 22, which is also right at the center and the bottom of board number 1, with the thinner portion towards the front. And then it's just gonna go into the 3 holes that are in that plate. And that's our part A7. Moving on to the page number 9, step number 1 in the top left corner. We need parts number 23, 24, and 25. 23 is gonna be right at the center here, at the bottom of board number 1. Part number 24 is the top right corner. And 2 25s are in the top right section, a little bit above the middle. Parts number 25 needs to be waxed all around, both of them. Part number 24 needs to be waxed all around. This is not 24, this is 26. I'm gonna put it on the side. That's for the next assembly. 24 is gonna be at the, let's see, a little bit above the middle on the right hand side. And that could have been a crucial mistake if the center holes were the same size, but because they're different, that's how I noticed it. All right, so 23 is going to go through the center hole here, using my table as a leverage just to push it through. And then parts number 25 on the right and left hand side of the little gear. That's our A8. And then step number 1 at the center top, we need parts number 11. That's the top right corner of board number 1. Part number 9, a little bit below the middle on the left, 2 of them. And then part number 26 that I already pulled out and waxed for the previous step by air. So one last step in this little sub-assembly. Once again, wax parts number 11. Put 9 into 9. Gear goes right into part number 9. using my table as a leverage, and then part number 11 on one side and part number 11 on the other side. In step number 1, in that top right corner of page number 9, hold on, this one's not completely in. Here we go, flat on both ends. Let's see, step number 1, we're going to take our A7 sub-assembly, where the O-brown hole, that's sub-assembly number A8, and then A9 will go in a little hole at the end on the right hand side. Make sure you match this gear for the axle and the gear that is right at the center, and then we lock it up with part number 27, which is at the center of board number 1. Wax in between these little tabs. Kind of weird that the other assembly showed to wax it, but here it doesn't. Make sure all the holes are matching, that you put it in the correct direction, and then you just snap it into the chassis. The center hole and the tabs. So all your little gears now need to sit in place. I need to move this one a little bit. There we go. And that's our A10. So let's see. Continuing with the assembly, we're at page number 10. Step number 1 on the left hand side. We need part number 28 on the bottom right. Part number 29 and 30 right above them. This little washer, that one will need to wax and sand. And then I'm going to use my helping tool to push the part number 29. There's a little bit of a material, so I'm just going to remove that on part number 30 and wax it. And then 29 is going to go through that center hole, rectangular or square. Push it all the way in, and then part number 30 on the bottom. And that's our A11. All right, so step number 1 on page number 10 at the top center of the page, we need parts number 31 and 32. 31 is a top right of the board, and then 32 is right at the center at the top, above the middle. And then 32s, one's going to go to the left side, one's going to go to the right. So of part number 31. They're mirror image of each other, just like this. And then step number 2, we take our sub-assembly, we insert with A1 with a shorter end on the right hand side, as that hole is closer to you. It's going to go through that little hole here into the board with a round piece. And then our parts number 12 with the little 32 facing to the right is going to go on the right hand side on that assembly into the corresponding holes. I would put a little bit of wax on these tabs too, because these are moving within to reduce the friction a little bit. Wax here, wax here. Right and left side. So your 32 sticks out here to the right, and here's to the left. And then we put part number 33, which is on board number 1, top right corner, a little bit above the middle, over this sub-assembly. And make sure you fit into the holes on both sides. Push it all the way in. And you should have the little turning wheels in the front. And then step number 5, 2 ports number 34. They're right on the right hand side, bottom right, a little bit to the right of the center line. They're gonna go up front here to lock this subassembly in. Make sure that it's nice and flush. And moving to the page number 11, now we need to make sure that this is working. So we need to wind up, and in the beginning most likely it's gonna just stick 6, 7 times, don't go too far. And then we need to rotate this axle. Get it moving. And then if you would have waxed and sand, or sand and wax every single part, this would have been much easier effort. But nevertheless, once again, we're gonna wind it up and we're gonna work it until it actually unwinds on its own. And so similar as with the previous assemblies, it will take a few runs, but eventually, I mean, as you can see, it already goes a little bit on its own. And while I'm doing it, you guys have free time. Please click like, comment, say hello down in the video below, just to spread it across the YouTube channel. Make sure it pops up for other hobby enthusiasts that assemble UGears. Not as smooth as I need it to be, but as you can see, it already goes, unwinds. Now it unwinds on its own, so I need to hold the gear to make sure it doesn't unwind. We want this as smooth as possible. I can either work it out right now, or I can work it all the way at the end of the assembly. It's better to work it now as much as you can. But at this point, we can actually continue the assembly. As you can see, it unwinds pretty easy most of the time, all the way to the end. As you can see, the more you play with it, the easier that assembly becomes, or the friction gets reduced as much as possible, and then it just unwinds much quicker. So in my case, I can already move on with the rest of the assembly. All right, step number 1 at the center of the page at the top. Page number 11, we need parts number 35, 36, 37, and 38. So let's see, 35 is going to be on bottom of board number 3, bottom left. Page 36 is in the bottom right. 37 will be on board number 1, right at the center here. We need 3, And then 36 is the top right. We need to take out these little part number 40 from inside, put it on the side temporarily. Part number 43, also put it on the side. And then so 35 is going to go on the bottom. Make sure that little cut or a little decoration round circle goes onto the towards the bottom. We put part number 37 into the holes around. Part number 36 is going to go in between 38 and 35. That was 38 is on board number 1, and 38 with the teeth facing counterclockwise direction. I'm gonna get it inserted. Then step number 2, we need parts number 40, the ones that we took out from 38. Push them out. Clean up. I'm not gonna wax or sand these parts just because they tend to get sticky. But part number 39, which is on the top left of board number 1, I'd sand on the outside as their connection points, and I put a little bit of wax on here. So now with this one, with these little sharp pieces facing counterclockwise direction, we insert it and then put the little teeth into the openings. So the teeth are facing counterclockwise direction. Then we take off one of our rubber bands and put it on the outside. That kind of like makes it a tire. There you go. And that's our B1. Put it on the side, move on to the page number 12. Step number 1 on the left hand side. Similar procedure. Part number 35, bottom left. Part number 36, bottom right or center. Back on board number 1, we need 3 parts number 37. They're at the center at the top here. I'm gonna take out the whole thing so it's just easier. Put it on the side so we don't miss it, don't lose it. And then part number 38 is in the top right corner with 40 is inside of it. Take the 40 out. All right, and then 43 is going to be on the side. Same thing, little circle towards the bottom. Put the parts number 37 all around. 3. $36 gonna go over it. And as I said, it's similar to the previous assembly, but slightly different because now in our case, the teeth should be facing the clockwise direction. The opposite from the first one. Now we need part number 39, top left, on board number 1. Sand it and wax on the outside. A little bit, you don't need a lot. Just reduce the friction a little bit. Part number 40, just punch it out. And then now part number 39 with a sharp point clockwise direction, we inserted. Then put your teeth in there. And that would be our B12 once we put a little rubber band all around. All right, that's our B2. I'm gonna put it on the right hand side. And then step number 1 on the bottom of page number 12, we need to do B3 times 2. So we need 2 35s, which is on board number 3 on the bottom here. Actually 4 35s, because 2 times. Part number 37, which we already took out, and part number 41 is in the top center of board number 1 and top left of board number 1. Take out the center pieces. And then we need 37s. Let's push all 3 of them since we're making 2. All 6, yeah. Clean them up. And then 2 35s, just insert it around. Put part number 41 over it. Same thing with the second one. Part number 41 over it. And then we lock it up with part number 35 from the other side. Make sure the circle is visible so it's nice and pretty wheels. And then put rubber bands around it. To make it B3. All right, moving on to the page number 13, and then we put these wheels on. Oop. All right, so first we're gonna do the rears. B1's gonna go on the left-hand side. And then it needs 42 first. They're in it to the right-hand side, a little bit above the middle, so we need 2 of them. And then 43s are on the little cutouts that we had from, I think, part number 35. All right, so that one's gonna go on the left. 42 first. Which will lock that, and then we'll lock it with 43 on the outside. Fix the tire, and we'll do the same thing on the other guy, on the other side. So 42 first, then we insert it into the B2, and then lock it up with 43. And then the front, part number 44, is on board number 1. No, 45 is on board number 1 on the left. 44 is the top left. .45 is on the bottom left. We need 2 of them. And then lock it up with 46, which were within 35s. Should be sitting on the side for you now. All right, so 44 is first. All the way. 45, we need 2 wags. And sand. Then we put a wheel on. Doesn't matter which side. And then we lock it up with part number 46 with the circle facing outwards. Same thing on the other one. 44 is first, all the way. 45 waxed. Then put the wheel on, and then lock it up with 46. Now, make sure the wheels work. Winding mechanism works. And then also pullback mechanism works. You need to help it a little bit in the beginning. Once again, same as before, it's got tons of friction, so winding works fine, and then pull back. Try to work both wheels at the same time. Or help with the gear. Now we need to work it in the pullback mechanism, same as the winding mechanism. Took the tire off. Took another tire off. The other end. Whee! Let's do the other way. Whee! Nope. A little bit more winding. Whee! It turns. All right, now we got this working. There's a little bit of a burr somewhere, so my pullback doesn't always work. But we're gonna overcome this. I lost the tire. Where did it go? That's why we have spares. I didn't even see it snap. Just went somewhere. I think I heard a little thunk somewhere against the wall. try to apply a little bit more wax on this little round pieces. There's some movement. All right. Let's see, double check, make sure everything works. And that's how you should check to make sure that everything is working. Alright, we're going to play with it a little bit more at the end, just to make sure that it's operational after I'm done with the assembly. Let's move on to the page number 14. Let's see, step number 1, need parts number 49, 48, and 47. They're all on board, looks like number 3, 49, top left. 48 is going to be let's see, that's on board number 1, top left. And 47 is on board number 2 on the bottom left here. All right, so 48 is gonna go with that's round off piece towards the bottom. 49 into the 49 with the little tabs, 3 tabs facing up and these lines facing outward. And 48 is gonna be on the back, and we need to wax these little tabs here. And step number 2, we need part number 50, top left. No, never mind, that's not 50, that was 49. Part number 50 is gonna be right here, right at the center, to the left of the center, right in the middle. Take out 92s from inside. Lines towards the top, and that's gonna go slide into the part number 47 with this little tab. And then you put it down onto the tabs. Make sure all the holes match. Squeeze it and make sure it sits nice and tight. Step number 3, we need parts number 51. They're on board number 2 to the left. And part number 52, this is to the left of part number 50, in the middle on the left hand side. I'm gonna push the inside part from inside the part, and then let's see, a little bit of wax on these little tabs. I'm gonna do 51. They're gonna go on the small tab with the little curvature going towards the inside there. I'm gonna use the helping tool to push it in. As far as it can go. Then I'm gonna put a 52 onto the bottom hole. And same thing on the other side, into the bottom hole, I mean center hole, I guess. I'm gonna need to turn it around. This little cut is towards this part. Match the tabs. And you can use your helping tool to insert it fully. And this should move up and down a little bit. Now I'm gonna turn it, step number 4, turn it around, and part number 53, that's on the board number 3, to the left of the center line, a little bit towards the below the middle. Let's see, there's like a little piece with a tab with a flat surface. That's the one that goes into the little holes on the left and right, with the part sticking out towards the outside. And you can put a little bit of a wax on it just to make it a little easier, excuse me. Then step number 5, we need part number 54. That's the one that I accidentally took out. That's not 49, that's 54. And we need parts number 55 and 156. Let's see, 55 is going to be 56 is going to be on board number 2, top left. And then 55s, where the 55s are at. Need to find a 55. Found them. Top right of board number 3. All right, so here we got 56 gonna go through the hole in the center. All the way in. And then 55s with the thicker tab will go on these 2 center holes, one to the right and one to the left. With 55, these little tabs facing down towards the outside. I need to put a little bit of wax on all of them just to make sure it's easier to insert. And they go from the bottom. That goes, and then part number 54 goes on inside on these little tabs with these internal holes. No, not these, but the outside. So this line is incorrect here. That's where it's supposed to go. And then part number 57, that's on board number 3, a little bit to the left of the center line, right above the middle. That one with the curvature towards the outside, that's going to go onto these 2 little tabs of part number 55. And that's our C1. Moving on to the page number 15. Step number 1 at the top, we need part number 5960 and 58. They're all on board number 3. 58 is on the bottom, and we need 2 of them. So to the right and the left of the center line at the bottom here. 2 58s. 59s are on the right hand side, a little below the middle, and then 60s on the left hand side, a little below the middle. Make sure this outer surface is visible. The shorter piece is going to go toward as a seat, and the thicker piece is going to go against the back. One. And try to leverage against the table. These are a little hard, smaller pieces, harder to put in. One more try. Here we go. That's 2. Now step number 2, we need part number 61, which is right at the center, or a little to the right of the center at the bottom of board number 3. And then part number 63, which is going to be top right of board number 3. And part number 62. 62 I've seen somewhere, that's a spare. There's one on board, should be on board number 3. Where would that be? Right at the center here. All right, so the seat's gonna go into this holes right here, to the right and the left. I'm gonna insert the 62 first, right at the center here. And then the seats on the right and left hand side. Flying parts. Okay, let's do left side first. That one's easier. And I just broke our hand brake. We do have a spare on that guy. And let's see, that goes in here. There you go. One seat is down, second one to go. There you go. The second seat is ready. And then the gear shifter is in the center here. All right. Next is the step number 3. We need part number 64, which is right at the top to the right of the center line. Part number 30. 65 and 66. They're on board number 2. Looks like it. 65 right at the center here. 66 a little bit to the right. Port number 30's in here. Also in the top right of board number 2. And then then part number 67, which is the steering wheel, that's going to be bottom left of board number 3. And here 65 is going to go on the right hand side, so like that's going to be from the back with the longer tab through part number 64. Then part number 30 is going to go over it, and then we'll lock it up with 67. And then part number 66 with the thinner portion is going to go, and the tab towards the top is going to go on the right hand side. Or left, if you're looking from the front. All right, now we're going to put a little bit of a wax on these little tabs here. And I would put the wax on the tabs of part number 66 and 65, and then there you go. In the next step number 5, we need part number 68, which is on board number 1, top left, sorry. And then looks like that's the last part on this board. Take part number 44 out. And that one's going to go into these 2 tabs right here. Go. That's our sub-assembly here, and that's our C2. Moving on to the page number 16, need to do the spare wheel. And that's part number 69, 2 of them on board number 2. Top right, bottom to a little bit to the right of the center line. Part number 70, also on board number 2 at bottom left here. And then part number 41. It's on board number 2. All right, so I do need to get a spare or find the one that flew away. A little rubber band. Not sure where it went. Somewhere in my office here. So let's do part number 70 into the wheel. Part number 69. Then part number 41 is going to go through the center here at the center, and then lock it up with port number 69 again. And let's see if I have any spare. Yep, I do. Lucky me. Or I have to go find that rubber band that just flew off. So I just put a tire onto the C3. Have some spare from previous assemblies. Spare rubber band. That's a 20mm diameter. And that's our C3. Now we take the previous sub-assembly C1. We need part number 44, which we just pulled out, and then part number 45. 45 would be at the center of board number 2. Now we don't need to wax them or anything. That goes on this little extension tab all the way in. Then we turn it around and we assemble this guy. Let's see, this is gonna go right into these two holes. We're gonna put a little bit of a wax on it. To get it working. All right, and then we turn it around and we put on page number 17, step number 3, we need to put part number 71. Both of those are on board number 3 on the right hand side. Excuse me. Two of them, they're right next to each other. And then 72, part number 72. They were on, no, that's a 75, right? 72 would be on the top left of board number 3. All right, so 71 is gonna go on the right and left hand side. This is the front towards the windshield, towards the wheels, and then put all the tabs through the corresponding holes. And we need to wax them. Need to line up all these little tabs. Lock it into place on both ends. Same thing, I'm gonna wax here, the other side, because wax definitely helped. And do the same thing on the other side. So I did the front first. And then back. Here we go. It's fully seated on both sides. And now we need part number 72 on a bottom. I guess I was supposed to do the '71 first, or 72 first. But it's all right. We can still make sure you have support. and wax. So this tab needs to stick out. Towards the back of the car. And then step number 4, we need parts number 73. Right at the center here, 4 of them. A little below in the middle. And then part number 75. They're right here, they were within the one of the tires, wheels. And then part number 74 is going to be on the right hand side, a little below the middle. All right, so let's see, make sure that these little circles facing towards the outside, and we put them onto the little tabs of part number 72. And then the on the outside of part number 71, just like this. So that's your rear lights. Then we need to do the 75s onto the part number 74. Make sure this little license plate is visible, and we're going to go onto the these little center rectangular holes with the hooks towards the top. And then this whole sub-assembly is going to go onto these 2 little bottom tabs with the hooks towards the top. And then step number 5, we need our little wheel, and we're going to put it over the part number 45 and lock it up with the 76, which is on board number 2, and a little below the middle on the left hand side here. Let me make sure we're still recording and we're good. I need to hold the part down. Here we go. And then the last piece, step number 6, on page number 17, we need part number 78 and 77. So 78 is below the middle on the right hand side here, and 77 is going to be the top left. I'm going to wax a little bit of 77, these little tabs. And these going to go into the holes on the right and left hand side. Here. You carefully to split it open. To get that part in, lock it in, make sure you don't break it. And then part 77 is going to go over the window here. Just like this. Moving on to the page number 18. Part number 79. We need to wax these little tabs on here on the side and right here. And then we need port number 79. They're on board number 3, top right. And then port number 80. So these gonna go with the little sharp pieces, gonna be towards this piece. Gonna go from inside here, put it on, and then lift this up and put this portion on too. Underneath this window, mirror, or I guess window, whatever. Same thing on the other side. Probably want to all the way in. It should rotate. All right, and then part number 80, we're gonna lug these up. They're also, let's see, they're right here. We pulled it out somewhere earlier, don't remember from which part, but they're on the side. So there's 4 of them and 1 spare. So these will lock onto this little tabs. From left and right, from inside, I guess. And that's our roof. Just need to make sure the holes line up, and then it actually sits pretty easy because we already waxed it. And we're done. All right, step number 1 on the right hand side, we need to make doors. Let's see, we need part number 82, 81. 81 is going to be over here to the right a little bit, a little at the middle to the right of the center line. 2 82s, 183, 83 top right. There are 2 of them, so I'm going to put 1 on the side. Then 83, 82s are on board number 2 to the left of the center line. And then part number 84. 84 is going to be top left. There are 2 spares. Bottom left, 84. Yep, that's what the spare is for. Don't press at the center. One of them I'm going to use both of these disintegrated a little bit. All right, 82, we need to put a wax on the tabs of the door. 82 is going to go with the little longer piece towards the back from top and bottom. Then 84 is going to go in here, and 83 into the hole on the right. And then 84, that's our mirror, hole in the center. Put a little bit of wax on it. All right, that's our C5. And then C6, gonna be the same thing, 83 bottom left, 85, sorry, 86 is also there. Careful, because that one, fragile, both of those as we learned. 83 we already have out, and then 82s, two of them top right on board number 2. Same thing, a little bit of a wax. Then we're going to do the handle. And then make sure to put a little bit of wax onto the mirror. Just to put it onto the C6. All right. So now these doors gonna go into these openings right here to the left and right. And you need to put a little bit of a wax on that side here. And that's where we need to lock them into the place. I open the door just to make sure it's easier to insert them. And you kind of need to work these in a little bit. I did put a little bit of wax. To insert them a little further. I'm going to use my helping tool. Just to get them in all the way, to make sure that the door is nice and snug, sits inside the opening. Probably need to push it a little further. A little bit more. All right, that's good now. And then the same thing on the other side. Need to do a little bit of wax on these guys. Open them up. Bit of a sanding here. works fine. Wax here, wax there, wax on this surface. Open the door. Push both of these onto this surface. That one's a little better than the other one. And we're done with C. Step number 1 on page number 20. Need to make our hood. So I thought it was going to be quicker assembly and I'll be done within an hour, but it's dragging out a little bit longer, which is totally fine. Let's see, we need part number 87. It's on board number 3. It's up a little bit above the middle on the right hand side. Port number 88, which is a little bit to the left of the center line and below the middle. Part number 89 would be top right, and part number 90 is going to be bottom right. All right, so 88 is going to go into this opening right here from the bottom. '89 is going to go onto this little tab. I'm going to wax it. And with the two tabs, the closer to each other towards the top, and then we kind of insert it and push it forward. And then part number 90 is going to go into this opening right here. All the way in. And then step number 2, we need part number 91 and 92. 91 is going to be to the left of the center line, a little bit below the middle on the left hand side here. Parts number 92 were within some of the parts earlier. So I got one of them. And so where I need to find the second one. 92. Did I throw the other part out? There should be a spare of 92 then, theoretically. Let's see, did I throw that out? No, there's no spare. So let's see, I gotta find one. It was within this opening right here, whatever the part it was. So I had to have it. Let me see. That was within the window. this little piece right here on the back. So I know I had it here. Let me dig through my garbage. Unless I was missing it. Let me go back into the... And there's no spares, I would, of course. I'll be back. Let me check the video. Checking the video, and it was pretty much sitting here as I'm flipping the page. It got over here. So by flipping the page, I kind of moved it over to the side. So false alarm, it's here. Unfortunately, we don't have a spare, but it is what it is. I found it, but you can always order spares at info@UGears.us or in the manufacturer's website, customer service at UGearsModels.com. All right, so we do the 92s first. They're gonna go on the back and all the way the far hole. Make sure the tabs are on the outside. Well, it's gonna face towards the back, kind of slanted down a little bit. Same on the other one. So make sure the tabs are on the right and then towards the back. And then we're gonna insert our, that's a step 2, and the hole that is right next to it on the left and right hand side. And then the reason why I checked video for that part, because I've had it happen before that that part was not on there at all, and I had to go get a spare before I could continue the assembly. So I didn't want to waste time, you know, sitting here and trying to search for it in the garbage before checking if it was there or not overall. All right, step number 3, we need parts number 93 and 94. They're in the top right corner of board number 3. And then they go over these little tabs. I'm gonna wax these tabs to make sure that we don't snap the part. And I'm gonna do the top first, same as it shows. And then carefully wrap it around and snap onto the other tabs. Just like this. Nice little hood. And then, need to open one up a little bit, the front tab, because we didn't insert part number 95, which is top left of board number 3. That needs to go kind of like around a little bit, this little guy. into these tabs on the right and left hand side. Wrong direction. Sorry, went off the screen for a second. I'm trying to figure out if we need to put something on the ends there. To see how far this needs to go into the part. So this one I was able to stick a little bit out. Not much though. What about the other side? There you go. But it's not sticking here much. Anyway. All right, let's go back. That was, now we're done with this part. Now we need to do the step number 6, part number 98. That's the bottom right of board number 2. Part number 96, which is on board number 3. Here's the bottom right. Port number 99 to the left of the center line at the bottom, and 2 97s. 97 is going to be on board number 2, top left. So first, 97 is going to go through this part number 96 with the 2 tabs towards you. 97 is going to go down with the tab all the way. A little under the diagonally slightly to insert it, and then push it in. Lock it in completely. All the way. Then part number 99 is going to go on front, these 2 tabs. I'm going to put a, once again, for some reason it's coming in a little bit hard, so I'm putting a little bit of a wax onto the tabs just to make sure it's easier to insert. And then part number 98 is going to go onto the bottom here. Just like this. And then step number 7, we're going to insert it over part. These 2 tabs going to go into these 2 little openings. 3 tabs, I guess. the center too, don't forget about that one. So that center one probably first. Then the ones on the right and on the left. I think I got all of them. And that's our D1. Now that D1's gonna go onto the chassis right here. Let's see, these two holes, right? So need to put a little bit of a wax on these tabs. And that's gonna get onto here. Alright, need to replace a mirror here. Okay, oh, and I forgot two parts number 100. So I got 100 here. And where's the other one? Did I also lose it? Oh, that was a spare. There's two of them right at the center at the top of board number 3. They go right up front. Alright, and that's our D2. A few more pages. I need part number 103, 102, and 101, and 104. Alright, board number 2, part number 103 on the right hand side. Part number 101, this is a long piece right here. And part number 102 on the bottom left, bottom right, sorry. Getting tired. And 104. 104 is right at the center here. All right, so 102 is going to go into 101 into hole here from the left. 103 is going to go on the other one. And then 104 is going to go right in the center of the part number 103. Join them together a little bit. Then we need part number 105. Top left, top right of board number 2. I'm mixing up my left and right. Board number 3 is part number 106, top bottom left. Part number 107 is going to be at the top left of board number 2. A little fragile parts, so careful pushing these out. All right, now 105 is going to go from the left. 106 with the end hole into the part number 101. Wrong direction. Or right direction. Right direction. Wrong direction. So 2 holes away from you. 107 is going to go into the second and the one in the back. Just like this. Then it's going to go into the, with this tab, outermost, into 101. And then 105 needs to go into this guy. God, why so complex? Here we go. And now into 101. Or, yeah. Step number 3, part number 108. Yeah, that one a little bit kind of weird. Sub-assembly. Steps are going to be towards the front. I'll wax the tabs right away. So that goes right into the into here. Then part number 110 and 109, also on board number 2. We're back after a little break, so we're we're step number 3. Let's see, we got the 108 installed. Now we need 110 and 109. So 110 is on board number 2. And 109 is in the same location at the bottom here, bottom right. Same board. And that was the 105 fell off. Alright, so 109 is going to go in the back here on the very last pin. Tab. And then the, let's see, let's wax them. I'm just reading into the instructions a little bit further. And then 110 is going to go right up front here. So with the 2 tabs, there's no marking or anything. Third tab in the back, and then this little part 108 kind of connects them together. Giving a little spacing. All right, and that's a D3. And then step number 1 in the top right corner, we're going for step number 1. parts number 101, 102, 103, and 104. Similar as before. 101, center of board number 2, 102, bottom right, 103 bottom right also, and 104 is right above it. All right, so a little bit of a wax on everything, because once again, it's a little bit of a tighter connections. 103 is first. Now we're gonna put 102 into it. And then connect 101 from the front. With that second hole, the one in the middle. And then 104 is gonna get installed onto 103, so a little bit of a wax. Make it same way as on the other side, on the other one. All right, for step number 2, part 107 we already have. 106, let's see, is on board number 3, but left on the left hand side, a little bit below the middle. Then it looks like number 3 we're done completely. No extra parts on here, only spares. Then put it aside. And then part number 105. That's the one that we had filled out a little bit earlier. So 107, 106, and 105. So 107, you know, a little bit of a wax on here. It's going to go into 106. The holes are away from you. The 2 holes are on the right side. And then the little stab's going to go towards the left-hand side. We insert the 107 into 106. And then it's part number 105 is going to go up front here into 106. And then all that's going to get inserted into part number, or sub-assembly that we just did in the previous step, into the first step, first hole. All right. Now, next page is going to be 23. Step number 3, we need part number 109, which is bottom center. Uh, 108, a little bit to the right in the middle. And then 110 is to the left, a little bit above the middle. So similar as before on the previous sub-assembly, I'm gonna do 108 first. Put a little bit of a wax. And then it's gonna go with the step towards the outside. Then we're gonna do 109 in the back, the very last tab. And then wax the tabs. The 3 tabs gonna be part number 110 in the front. And it's going to be on a part number 108, also connecting it together. And that's a D4. All right. Next step, we're going to take our frame and let's see. Need part number 111. It's in the top left of board number 2. that's gonna go towards the back here. Need to wax the tabs that are sticking out, and put that one first. And then we're gonna put a D4, that's the one that we just assembled, at the end. So let's wax all these tabs. And insert back, middle here. Center. And then let's see, all these need to go into the corresponding holes. So there's a holes up front. Just like this. So there's like spacing in between, and make sure they're all flat on this side. So, and same thing on the opposite end. We need part number, on the opposite side, you need part number 111. Cleaning up a little bit of a garbage, that's gonna go in the back. Similar. Go ahead and insert it, lock it in, and then we put D3 on the other side. And then the front pieces. All right, that's all good to go, and that's our C. Moving on to the page number 24. Now we just need to insert it into the, so the two tabs up front, they're gonna go into the openings right here. And then the rear piece, that's gonna snap into this little rectangular hole. All right, so we just insert it over. Just like this, and then snap down in the back, and you're done. That's it. Our roof is retractable, just like this. Doors open up, 1 and 2. And obviously it's a wind up, so we have to hold the wheels, wind it up, ten to 12 times, and then let it go for it to drive over. Now obviously need to work it in a little bit. There you go. We were working it before. Still somewhere a little burr or sharp edge or something that prevents it from winding up completely. But as you can see now, it's driving fine. And the other option is to do the so we need to play around with it a little bit to release the mechanism. And And the other option is a pullback. So the pullback, that's the one that we have a little bit of a struggle with. But all we need is just to play with it a little bit longer to remove that little bird. And the longer you play with it, the easier it's going to become, that mechanism. And so you have two options. You have the wind up, which we need to still to play with a little bit, but works more or less. And then we have a pullback option. These are the two options to ride this vehicle. All right, that completes the assembly. It's another one, simple, pretty quick. A third of the three different sports cars, little ones. And we have Furious mouse. This is a rapid mouse, and we do have a winged sports coupe. Sorry. All these three models are available for sale on UGears.us and UKidsToys.com. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our channel. If you leave a comment under the video, it'll be great also. Just pretty much spread the word, and we'd appreciate it. Any questions, feel free to leave a comment or send us email to info@ugears.us. Any comment, any question, if you need a replacement part, we can help you out. We are official distributor of UGears in the United States. So this was Dimitri with Ukidz LLC and UGears.us. We'll see you guys next time with a new assembly. Thank you.